Have you seen the beautiful Aurora nails? Or holographic transparent nails? Or broken glass? 3 names these beautiful nails go by. Thanks to the lovely request by this lovely viewer, I'm going to show you how we break down the details and how to get that look. Let's get started. I'm just marveling how beautiful they are. The photos are one thing, but when I move them, look how sparkly they are. Aren't they neat?
Oh yeah, I think they look cool.
Yeah, and they're very similar to the saran wrap look, but this is a little less labor intensive, if you will, and you can use this with foils and maybe all the things that you have. So let's get going and I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to do it on my thumb. I've already prepped. He's all ready to go. And I'm just going to use some jelly tips to make it quicker. I'm going to pour a little of my fast cure monomer into this little dish. I don't need much. I'm just doing 1 nail, so I just need a little bit. Now I'm going to build this with a jelly tip, but I'm going to attach it with acrylic, and then we're going to build with the gel on top. Okay, so I'm just going to get not too big a bead because I'm not building a nail. The nail is going to end up being the gel tip here. So I just need enough to get in to the tip to attach to my finger. I do want the end to be as clear as I can make it. I did already buff this tip so it can apply. Okay, now I'm just going to squeeze it on, and I'm going to hold it there for just a second. This is fast setting, so it won't take as long as slower setting. And I'm just going to hold it there until it sets up. If you're interested, you can purchase my fast set. Just go to nailcareer.com, my fast setting monomer with the powders that anybody can purchase. Okay, so once you've got your nail, now you can sculpt a nail on there, whatever you want. If you're going to sculpt, you can make it rather thin. Jelly tips are pretty thin, so I'm going to put a no-wipe top coat because I need to make my chrome powder. That's my first artistic layer. I need to make the chrome powder stick. Oh, I need a light. Okay. We'll just get this light up here. Okay, so I need to nuke that top coat so we can put the chrome powder in there, which is the first layer of our nail art. Nail art. This is inspired, well, I got the inspiration from a nail artist, a friend of mine. Her name is Anastasia. She's a fabulous artist. I met her down in one of the trade shows at one time. She was working for a company, and we started talking about designs because she is really very good. So I saw this on her, well, actually, yes, I did. I saw it on her Instagram or Facebook, one of the two. And when the viewer requested this design, as many did, I thought, I'm going to ask her specifically how she did it. So she gave me specific instructions. And it can look a little bit different depending on the foil that you have. So we're going to put now the mermaid chrome, or she said you can use unicorn chrome. And mermaid chrome can come in different colors. I have a very goldy color. Her favorite is more of the pinky tone. But this is the one that I have. So I am putting it on. Now, she did say to remove any of the dust. Now, when you're working with chromes, it is important to do that anyway, because whenever you lay something down next layer, it can pick up the little granules and cause problem. So depends on which foil that you have. I have these foils, and it just depends on what color. These are more of a goldy. There's some pink and greens and blues, so I'm going to play with this. So I did do these 4 fingers, and what I learned was I kind of like the bit more crinkled look to it. Now, she said if you want more of a flat look, then you want to not dent it, not crinkle it at all. So I'm going to try to not keep it crinkled because I did try to do that when I was doing it. So I'm going to cut just like a strip. And the trick is, she said, cut it smaller than the nail surface that you're putting it onto. And the reason being is because it can be thicker. Some are thicker than others. And her little trick was, if it's thicker, she wrapped it around the end of a brush and put a hairdryer to it. And it helped it bend a little bit to curve around your nail. Because when the edges stick up, when you put your coating over top, depending on how thick you do it, it can, lead to a little bit of surface breakdown, or it can chip or not look so good or stick up too high. So the idea is to keep it a low profile, but also kind of flat. And you can see this has some little wrinkles in it, but I kind of like the wrinkles in it. I'm going to leave it there because if you look at this hand that I did do, this one has more crinkles in it. This one, I laid a strip down and I tried to make it as flat as I could. This one, I let it crinkle a little, and I like that. This one, I laid 3 separate strips down to see what it would look like, and I don't like it as much. This one is just one narrow strip down the center. So you can see it doesn't really matter because it does all kind of glisten, but it depends on how particular you are. So I'm going to lay this guy down on this nail here, but because I don't want it to stick up around my cuticle area, I want it to go around. I'm going to cut the cuticle area a little bit more like a rounded shape. So I am just going to take off the corners and take my little itty bitty scissors and do kind of a rounded, they're hard to cut, rounded cuticle shape. And I'm not going to have it longer than my nail. I did these really long so we could see the effect. You can do them on short nails. She has them on her Instagram. Karen Man will put her Instagram up so you can check it out in different lengths of nails, and she does it on short and long. And I'm not going to do it longer than my actual nail. In fact, I'm going to do it a little shy of it so it's not over the edge. And this piece of foil is not wider than my nail. In fact, I'm going to cut it a bit of a Gauffin style, so it just sits on top. It's when it curves down the side that you start to have a bit of a wrinkle. So if you don't want that wrinkle, don't let it curve down the side or bend it with the heat. Now I'm gonna lay that right there. Okay, so get a gel brush, and I'm gonna get some sculpting gel. And I'm going to literally just paint the sculpting gel to create a sticky enough surface so that my foil will stick. Now, right now, this particular design is asking for or looking for a see-through foil. So you can see the chrome coming through the bottom up through the see-through cellophane that you're putting on top. But maybe people will try it with different, colors and stuff. Probably look kind of cool. So I'm just making sure I've got an ample amount of sculpting gel on there. Okay, now this will stick quite nicely. Just lay it in there and press it in. Now, if you press it in with something pokey, you might dent it. So you can be kind of gentle with it, depending on how smooth you want it. I kind of like the crinkles, to be totally honest with you. So I'm okay with that, but it just depends on what you look for. Now you can see it's kind of crinkling because it's trying to bend over to the side of my nail, which is the effect that I like. But if you're not looking for that, you don't want any crinkles in it, then you maybe want to cut a smaller piece so it lays a little bit more flat. But I rather like that.
It creates the highlights and the borealis kind of look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I personally quite like that. Then you can give it a bit of a nuke. Now, what I was going to say was you can clean your foil. I did it beforehand, but I wanted to mention it. You can clean with a little bit of alcohol, clean your foil. Sometimes it helps it lay down a little bit easier. I also find if it has a little bit of static cling to it, the alcohol does help that. And my scissors are straight. I had some curvy scissors that were frustrating, so get some straighter scissors. It does make it easier. Okay, so now when I take it out of the light, I am going to build on top, especially if you are building this from scratch off of a form. You want to do a thin layer of your builder gel, then your chrome, and then the more building gel on top. In this case, I use the jelly tip as more of the form. Just, it's a little bit faster that way. And I thought I would use the jelly tip in case you're doing this at home. You can do that. Okay, so now we are going to just start building on top. Already it's starting to look cool. So all I'm doing now really is just building the nail on top. You do want to build more on top because I will tell you guys, the gel that you're going to put on top is part of the secret. When you put this gel on top, whatever you're building with, it magnifies all of those colors. Just get a look at this. Hopefully the camera will be able to pick it up. It just literally amps up the light refracting on that nail. So you really do want to build on top of it, because if you just put a thin layer of top coat, yeah, you'd seal it in and stuff, but you wouldn't get that light refracting through the gel, which causes the incredible Aurora Borealis type, I'm sure that's what it's after, look that it's trying to create. I don't know any other way that Aurora is used. Do you, Cameron? Whenever I hear the word Aurora, I'm thinking of Aurora Borealis. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I never really used that word. Look at the light refracting. See what I mean? Does the camera pick that up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly the overhead.
Right. So you can really see when you start building the gel, and probably that thickness of the gel is what's really helping amplify that beautiful foil. Really, really cool. Just make sure you get rid of those bubbles. Look at that. That really changed it, eh? That just amped it right up. And if you are using a jelly tip, it's pretty much formed for you already, but you do want to build on top of it because you are using that to your advantage. Okay. And sometimes what I did learn with the other nails that I was building, because I'm really trying to be careful and not putting in bubbles anymore, but sometimes you will have the bubble. It just happens because it's settling underneath the crinkle, and the product is settling underneath that crinkle that's trying to go down the side of the foil. It crinkles up and causes an air pocket in there, and your gel can get in there, and it definitely looks like a little bit of a bubble. Okay. Oh, wow, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to give it a nuke, and then we're going to file it up and shape it, which needs very little of that because we've used a jelly tip. So the shape is pretty much already done for you. So I'm going to clean this up, and we'll start sculpting and shaping it up. Okay, I've got myself a really good coarse file. Now it's gel, and its tip's already in place, shape's already there, so it doesn't take much for filing it whatsoever. I want to thank everybody who's purchasing my files, and I want to let you know that every file kit comes with information. Not only did I include what each file does, but I also included what you don't use each file for. Sometimes it's hard to know, can I use it for this? Well, it'll tell you, no, you can't use it for that. Just to be really, really explanatory on what your files are good for. Okay, and now I'm going to get my spongy file, get it ready for the gel top coat. Okay, and I'm going to clean off the dust, and I'm going to put on the top coat. Now you can use a gel top coat or a nail polish top coat. We'll still have the same effect. Look at this. It's going to come to life. Look at that.
Wow.
And that's why you need to build a little bit of builder gel on top of this design to really get that depth. So the light really plays through the gel, and it gives you that real big light refracting off of there. So it really causes that cool effect. That's so cool. So easy. That wasn't hard at all. Okay, just gonna nuke it, and we can check out reveals. Okay, now you've already seen the reveals, but I'll put my oil on too. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. For anybody who might want to know what I'm wearing in my other hand, this beautiful pink shimmery color. It's by Light Elegance, and it is called Sunday Best. I highly recommend this polish. It goes on beautifully, very easy to work with. Okay, well, I think it's gorgeous. Now I have a full set. Look at that, cameraman. I have a full set.
Oh, yeah.
Not matching hands.
No.
But I have a full set. If I move it just a little, look at that. You can really see.
Yeah, it reflects different ways.
Yeah. I wish it was sunny out. I'd go outside and see what it looked like. This would be killer in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you were outside on a sunny day, you would be able to signal somebody from across the ocean there? It's very cool. If you want a similar look, I did it with saran wrap and chrome. It's actually really easy. You embed it. Well, take a look.